Here is the hard truth. 90% of veterans are missing out on a benefit they already earned. And I do not mean they do not qualify. I do not mean they did not serve long enough. I mean they literally walk away from money, from freedom, from opportunities that were sitting on the table. They gave years of their life to the uniform. They sacrificed their body, their mind, but when the time came to collect what they earned, they did not. And now they are broke, bitter, and confused about why life after service feels harder than life in uniform. That does not have to be you, because the benefit they are missing, the one I'm about to break down for you, is not hidden, is not complicated, is not even a secret. It is why they're waiting into the VA system. The only difference between the 10% who use it and the 90% who do not is literacy. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what that benefit is, how it works, and why not using it is the single biggest mistake you can make as a veteran. On this channel, I show you how 3 years can buy you a lifetime back. So subscribe. So let's name the benefit. It is disability compensation. That is the anchor. That is the foundation. That is the check that shows up every month that's free for life if you file correctly. And right now, 90% of veterans either do not file, do not appeal, or do not claim what they are entitled to. They shrug off their injuries. They downplay their pain. They tell themselves, I'm not hurt enough, or other veterans need it more. And because of that, they leave thousands of dollars on the table every single month. But disability is not a handout. It is not welfare. It is not a scam. It is compensation for the cost of your service. Your knees, your back, your hearing, your sleep, your mental health. Those are not free. You paid for them in uniform. The VA pays you back in civilian life. And if you do not claim it, you are the one getting scammed. Now, here's why this matters. At 100%, the rating pays around $4,500 a month. That's free. That is the equivalent of a $70,000 a year civilian job after taxes. And here is the kicker. You do not have to quit working to collect it. You can stack it on top of your career income, on top of your business, on top of your GI Bill housing allowance if you are in school. That is why 10% who claim it are not just surviving, they are free, they are building, they are stacking. Meanwhile, the 90% who do not are stuck working jobs they hate just to cover rent, living paycheck to paycheck, wondering why the system failed them. The system did not fail them. They failed to learn the system. Let me make it real with numbers, because human lies, but numbers do not. Say you get out and you land a civilian job at $50,000 a year. After taxes, you are taking home maybe $3,300 a month. That is survival money. That barely covers rent, groceries, car, and insurance. Now, add a disability rating at 100%. That is $4,500 a month, more eating your account every month. No taxes. Now, you are at $7,800 a month. That is $93,000 a year take home. For comparison, your coworker at the same job will need to earn $130,000 before taxes to match your take home. That is the difference this one benefit makes. And yet, 90% of veterans do not file. Why? Pride, ignorance, fear. Pride says, I do not want to take handout. Ignorance says, I do not know how to file. Fear says, if I file, maybe I will get denied. Maybe I will get judged. Maybe I will look weak. And so, they suffer in silence. They limp on bad knees. They struggle with back pain. They lose sleep. They fight anxiety. And they still pay rent every month, still pay insurance, still pay taxes, still live broke. Meanwhile, the veterans who file are living free. They are using the VA loan to buy duplexes. They are using the GI Bill to get paid to go to school. They are putting the kids through college with Chapter 35. They are stacking a state-level exemption on property tax and registration of the car. All because they filed the first form. That is the getaway. That is the benefit 90% miss. Listen, this is not just numbers. Missing this benefit is not just leaving money on the table, it is leaving freedom on the table. Think about it. What will your life look like if $4,500 tax free hits your account every first month on top of your paycheck? Will you stay at the job you hate? Will you live in the same apartment? Will you stress about every bill? Or will you finally brave? Finally think long term? Finally take a risk you could not take before? That is the difference between surviving and building. That is the difference between the 90% and the 10%. I will give you a story. I knew 2 veterans who left service the same year. One ignored the process. He said, I'm fine. I do not need disability. I do not want to take from the system. He got a job making $60K a year, paid taxes, paid rent, paid bills. 10 years later, he was still renting, still in debt, still paycheck to paycheck. The other filed immediately. He documented every injury, appealed until he got what he deserved. and walk away with a 100% rating. That was $4,500 a month for life. He used his VA loan to buy a fourplex, live in one unit rent-free, and add tenants covering the mortgage. He used his GI Bill to get a master's degree while pocketing another $2,500 a month in housing allowance. His spouse used Chapter 35 to go back to school with a stipend. 10 years later, he owned 3 properties, had 6 figures in investments, and his kids' college was already paid for. Same service, same contract, 2 completely different outcomes. Why? Because one missed the benefit and the other did not. And here is the part that hurts. The system does not chase you. The VA does not knock on your door and beg you to file. The benefits are there, but they do not market them. They do not advertise. They do not make it easy. You have to know. You have to learn. You have to ask. And most veterans do not. That's why I create a private community, first link in the description. You can look it up. They think if the VA did not explain it, it must not exist. Wrong. It exists. It is real. The only question is whether you are going to let pride, ignorance, or fear stop you from using. Let's break down the excuses. Pride. I do not want a handout. My answer to that is, it is not a handout. It is payment. You signed the contract. You gave your health. You earn every dollar. Ignorance said, I do not know how. My answer, learn. I have a private community called Military Skool that teaches you this. Click the first link in the description. Fear say this. But if I get denied, my answer, appeal. Appeal again. Do not stop. Do never stop. The VA denies to test you. The 10% who win are the ones who refuse to quit. Now, let's zoom out. The missed benefit is not just disability pay. It is the mindset of stacking. Because once you claim disability, you unlock the ability to stack everything else. The VA loan, the GI Bill, dependent benefits, healthcare, state exemption, they all layer on top. But if you never claim the first benefit, you never start the stack. That is why the 90% lose. They think the system is one benefit when it is actually a ladder. The 10% climb it, the 90% walk away. So let me ask you directly, are you going to be in the 90% or the 10%? Are you going to shrug off what you earn, keep paying rent, keep working jobs you hate, keep stressing over bills, or are you going to claim it, stack it, and build freedom? Because that choice is yours. Nobody will make it for you. Drop a comment if you have any questions and I will answer them. Watch this video that YouTube thinks that you will like. If this helped you, subscribe for more plays that turn service into freedom. Thank you for watching till the end. Peace. I'm gone.